Everyone, hope you are doing well. This is actually a bit of a weird one because I have not been live like this in this group, I don't think, since we actually started the group. And as you know, usually we keep the group for promotional purposes, but today is a little bit different because I've got my buddy Rob from America on. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I mean, you just warmed me up. I got to be doing well after I get to talk to the man, the myth, Frazer Brooks. He's becoming the new legend, the legend of Frazer Brooks. I can see the movies right now. Probably you could have 3 movies, trilogy. I want the right.
Why stop there? I'm gonna have a Netflix series, and it's
Do it.
You can co-star if you want, or you can be the star.
I'll be an extra. I'll just be an extra. It's all good.
So, guys, me and Rob became, I'm not even going to call best of friends because we shared a bed when we were a room when we were in Las Vegas. So we heard each other
snore. In my bed when I was sleeping or something?
Yeah, I was just watching you as you were doing. And you were looking the other way. I was just waiting for you to turn my way. I'm kidding. But guys, yeah, so I've got Rob on. We wanted to just really we've got an announcement to make in like 5 minutes or so, but I wanted for you guys to hear Rob's side of the story with what happened in Vegas and see if you can kind of pick up a little nugget or two from Rob. And then after that, we'll do something crazy. So Rob, obviously we went to Vegas and we had a ton of fun. And it was great to hang out with you. But what was it that you really kind of took away from the social media summit?
Yeah, there was a lot, actually. Probably the main things I took away were the behind the scenes conversations that people haven't heard about. And I would say a couple of things that really stood out is I think sometimes on social media, even though we talk a little bit about it, we're not vulnerable enough. And every single one of us sucked on social media when we started. And so we say embrace the suck, but we don't talk enough about how bad we sucked, because I think sometimes we think people have heard our story. And so Frazer can talk about how, maybe he wasn't great at first, and I can talk about it. But how often do you really hear Frazer talk about it? Do you hear me talk about it? It's almost like we feel like, people have heard our story. And sometimes people need to be reminded because they see now the audience that we have, or they see 2,200 plus people on a Facebook Live with Frazer, right? And they forget that just a year ago, he was getting 50 likes. And they forget that just a year and a half ago, I was getting on average 300 views on my Facebook Lives. And so I think that really stood out of every single person that we talked about behind the scenes, talked about how bad they actually really sucked. But the key is successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. It's not like Frazer was so excited to suck on social media and embrace his fears. It's not like I was so excited because at the time I'd made millions of dollars, and then I started doing Facebook Lives and I was downright awful. I was embarrassing. And it's bad enough to be embarrassing when you start, but then when people expect you to be good because you've made a lot of money, it was worse. It was painful. I wanted to go suck my thumb in the corner because I was just so bad. But I thought, you know what? You just got to do it. And you got to stop worrying so much what everybody thinks, embrace the suck. And then from there, all of us were consistent. And we were consistent at social media, and we started learning. We started becoming better at articulating and communicating with others, and started learning what other people loved about us so that we could find that 8th voice, as I call it, as Stephen Covey talks about, find our voice, or the 8th habit, find our voice. And we started learning how to communicate that and be comfortable in our own shoes and in our skin. And you hear Frazer and you hear myself talk about how uncomfortable we were speaking in front of even one person. I'm chewing gum and I'm whispering, and I swear I was spitting on the person. My dad's like, that was really bad, son, but you'll get it. You'll get it. So, I think that's what I would say is really kind of behind the scenes. I thought it was such a good reminder, because if you want to really help your audience, wow them, teach them something really important. But if you want to connect with your audience, share something that's vulnerable. Share something that's vulnerable, and then the victory story that you've created or that you're creating. So that's what I would say that really just stood out to me with these private conversations that we were having.
And I think also, like, one thing I picked up from it, because I'm a great believer in, you got your successes and you've got your struggles. And adding on to what you said, people don't be afraid to share your struggles. Vulnerability and negativity are completely different. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I can't believe Donald Trump got elected as the president, versus like you sharing a vulnerable story. Don't be prepared to be vulnerable, but don't don't have every post as vulnerability, but more people will actually relate, like, love your content when it's a vulnerable story than if you go, ha ha ha, I'm amazing. Eric Worre invited me to his house. He didn't invite you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, look at Frazer's. He did 3 weeks ago, and he was talking about some of the haters that he has, and that's what people love about you is you're just real. You were open. You were honest, and you still haven't heard this story yet. I've only shared it 2 times in the U.S., and I shared it both times when I was in Australia, and I shared my most vulnerable story, and it was hard because I hate crying, and I'm crying on stage, and Australia is like, this is the best story we've heard. I'm like, oh, I need to be more vulnerable. Stop trying to be such a tough guy. But like you said, it wasn't negativity at all. I was always finding the silver lining in any time I was sharing my struggle. It was never in a whiny way. It was a lot more in just a victory way of how excited I am and perspective and how grateful I was. And like you just clarified there's a huge difference. But look how many views Frazer got. And it's not like Frazer was like, I'm going to do this Facebook Live and try to get views. He just shares his heart. He shares who he is. And because of that, even when people haven't met Frazer in person or ever spoken to him, they feel like they know him. And you want to connect with your audience so people feel like if they meet you in person and they've never spoken to you before, even via audio on Messenger, they feel like they know you personally.
Yeah, for sure. That takes time, I think that comes from you being willing to be connected with anyone. I think in school, the schooling system is so bad that the majority of us, we tend, or not saying everyone, but the majority of people tend to only want to be friends with people who have got a load of friends. And when it's on social media, you've got to completely forget that and help everyone become a somebody. And I genuinely believe Facebook is the best recognition program or platform in the world because everyone can be recognized as a someone. You can go from zero to hero in 6 months on social media without making a single penny just because of the influence you've got. And Angel Fletcher, Rob, I'm just fascinated by her. But I know you're really, really good friends with her. But the way she was just always saying about staying real, if you're a massive fishing fan, then talk about fishing. You'll get a ton of people who love you for fishing. If you love knitting or surfing, go have a group about that.
Instead of why is everybody adding other network marketers? It's like breaking up a happy marriage. Stop being a homewrecker. Yeah, they're married. It's literally whatever you want to call it, incest, a happy marriage, whatever strong words. But why? Why not go find somebody? I mean, like we talk about, and Frazer's the one that corrected me. I said, hey, I was always teaching everybody, hey, our goal is to become professionals at making friends. We want to turn strangers into friends. And Frazer's the one that's like, yeah, and let's go another step. We want to turn strangers into friends and friends into family. That's what you're doing. So if they're happy where they're at, great, love them. Go find people that have never been part of this industry. The best companies that have had the most amount of growth that sustain that growth, it's because they had organic growth. If it's not organic, panic.
Yeah, that's really good. That's it. If it's not organic, panic. I love that. I'm going to make a note of that because I've not heard that one before. Organic, panic, right? Fastest writer in the world. Okay. So guys, last thing I want to mention before we kind of go into the exciting news. This is amazing. Rob told me that he's hardly ever played golf before. He's like, no. I've never played golf. And after the Eric Worre Summit, we went to a thing called Top Golf. Now, I've never played this before. I thought it was pitch and putt. And we turn up to this 4-story massive building, which is brand new, millions of dollars. And anyway, we walk into this private room. Eric had hired this private room, music, drinks, food, way too much food. And the Americans, they love the food. But anyway, and a huge driving range with all these colored targets and all that. And Rob comes along with his skinny jeans on, which he says they're just jeans, but because he's got skinny legs, it's called skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans to me are just normal jeans because my legs are tennis toothpicks.
tennis toothpicks.
I played tennis. I was a tennis player. I got these little skinny tennis legs that, I don't want to sidetrack you, but when I go do squats at the gym, if there's a female doing squats, she squats more than me and I have to leave the gym. Okay. So I can't handle it. My ego, the competitor in me, I'm not going to have some female that weighs like 60 pounds less than me squatting more than me. I can't handle that. So I try to get my butt more bulky. I have SBS, skinny butt syndrome, and my butt kills when I'm on the airplane. It's a very real disease that many of us struggle with. It's not talked about. People don't understand. I struggle with SBS.
And you know what, mate? I was thinking about this the other day. Nobody wins when you recline your seat on a plane. Because if you recline your seat, you're guilty because of the person behind you. And, you know, if someone reclines their seat on you, you've got no room. So there's a lose-lose situation. There's so many things about being on a plane that needs to be talked about in a separate live to this. Like,
yeah, that's going to be another live. We'll prepare for that one.
Like next month.
We'll share our secrets if we get 1,000 people on that Facebook Live. Otherwise, they don't deserve them.
Yeah, exactly. But so anyway, he gets the golf club, he goes out and he just creams it right down the middle. And I'm like, yeah, right, this guy's not played before. But Rob's just one of those guys who's just great at everything. He's a good guy as well. I appreciate our friendship. But at the end of this golf game, like some people have been drinking and eating way too much, having so much fun and building friendships and stuff. And Eric said something, we were just talking about this before it came on, and Eric said that like we all need to level up. Like everyone needs to level up. Coaches, distributors, leaders, everyone needs to level up for the betterment of the industry. And for me, it was a light bulb moment. I've been thinking it throughout the weekend, but I'm someone who I compare myself to other coaches, right? I compare myself to Rob, I compare myself to other guys in the UK, I compare myself to Eric, right? And I'm like, am I doing better? Am I doing worse? Do I get more engagement? Do I get less engagement? Is my group bigger? Is it smaller? Am I on track? Am I not on track? And this weekend, instead of thinking competition, I was thinking collaboration. Instead of thinking, how can I make my events better than yours? I was thinking, how can I help them grow their events so everyone's events are bigger? And with that being said, Rob is actually coming over to Europe in 5 minutes. 5 minutes you leave?
Literally, as soon as we're done with this, I running and getting my luggage and hustling up to the airport.
Literally, like, guys, we're keeping it. We might go for 7 minutes so he doesn't miss his flight. So he does miss his flight. Just kidding. Right, so Rob, you're coming over to the UK you're going to be doing an event in the UK on the 26th of May.
Yep,
right?
10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Birmingham,
guys. So everyone in the UK can go. Like it's 4
That's
hours.
What I'm told. I don't know. You told me that.
Yeah.
You're in Birmingham, so I said okay.
Birmingham, mate, right in the middle. Anyone can go to it. So people are going because you're a beast. And for those of you who did the social media summit, I got a load of feedback saying like, Rob's the man, Rob was awesome. So, and you're massive into social media, but you're also, it's not like your main number one skill, is it? Like tap routing, leadership. That's your like.
I built 5 years offline. And then after that, I made my emphasis online. I just saw where it was headed like you did. And so I said, I'm going all in on this, trying to get ahead. And so it's fun because when people talk old school, I was selling $1,700 skincare packages age 28 in Utah, the most saturated market in the world with no social media. And I did that for 5 years. And so it's great because I feel like I can understand both sides of the spectrum. And people say, hey, I don't do much online. I say, well, you should. Let me show you how. People say, all I do is online. Great. You're speaking my language. People say, hey, I mix both. Great. That's fine.
I love it. So you're going to be coming over to the UK 26th of May, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. So that's a lot. That's a lot of content that you're going to be covering. So you're going to be doing some, but there's also going to be like a couple of other speakers who are going to split the time up, right?
Yeah, we got our man David Ross is going to be there. We've been coordinating. He's going to be speaking. Danny Clark will be there. Chris and Tracy Monroe will be there. A couple others will be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And like how Frazer is it's going to be really raw. Of course, I have a lot of PowerPoints and I can create any PowerPoint I want. But the best presentations are when you can really get in depth and not just give the generic answers, but break down of everything you went through, what the mindset was, why it worked, what didn't work, and really make it where it just makes sense for people. Because we're all communicating similar things. We're just trying to hit it from different angles. So eventually it clicks for you. So you can say, Now I get it. And you go to your upline and you say, hey, I get it now. And your upline's going to say, I've been telling you that same stuff for 2 years, but sometimes we just need to hear a different perspective. And so it's going to be fun. And Frazer's the one, I mean, he's been awesome. We collaborate every single day. Like he said, collaboration is the new competition. I launch something. He's like, hey, let me help you out, mate. Do this, don't do this. I say, hey, they just asked me to speak in Europe here. I can't speak. Hey, why don't you take this? They're going to love you. He's like, awesome. Thank you. And we just see eye to eye and we get along really well. We've got a lot of the same philosophies and it's a lot of fun. So I'm just really excited about this.
And like if I could be there, I would, but my best friend is getting married and I'm the best man.
We tried to get him to switch, but.
So guys, you know me, I don't promote anything unless I know it's like 100. In a year I've been doing this, all I've promoted is the Ninja Networker, the event I did with Eric Worre, and now this. This is the only things I've ever done. So I highly recommend, Rob, what's the link, mate? And
it's www.europe.robsperry.com, and Sperry is with 2 R's, like the shoes, Sperry Topsider, who I wish I were related to, but I'm not. And someday I hope somebody passes away and tells me I have a huge inheritance. That's my secret dream. You guys just know all my dreams now. And that's the goal. But hey, you're the contest man. So what are we going to do?
So
I give away I've got some non-social media, just principles, skills of how I launched my business with $45,000 in sales. And it talks about urgency and it talks about creating $1 million list, $1 million earners. Don't create lists like most people. It's not like just go create a list of 100 people. It's actually how to structure and strategize and all of that content's.
What we'll do is, if you're up for this, the person who tags the most people into this live. Okay. Now it's in a group, guys, so you're going to have to add them in, all right? And anyone who's in this group can accept anyone into the group. The person who tags the most number of people into this video, most number of relevant people, so they're in network marketing, by let's go 5 p.m. on Friday, so 5 p.m. tomorrow. I'll let you know the name of that person and they can get that. Was it a course you said?
I'll give them three courses.
3 courses.
Yeah, they'll come together. Yep.
Okay, so that person, I'll send you the name. I can add you into a group with that person, like a Facebook Messenger chat, and you can take it from there.
Let's do that, and we'll do whoever's number 2. I'll give away if they buy a ticket. They have to have already bought a ticket, so they're not like waiting and hoping.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys get a ticket. Come hang out. Come have fun. Come make fun of me and my American accent if you want. But I'll give them 5 free tickets. They have to have bought a ticket to qualify. They can't, and I'll look at the date. They can't just come Friday. Oh, I'm going to buy it after because I think I won.
Yeah, they've got it. So let's go. They've got to buy it by Friday as well.
Yes.
Let's do it. So let's get some urgency on there, guys. If you're going to tag, make sure you tag them all in one comment instead of like multiple comments. Sorry, I should have made that clear. Guys, the last time a generic network marketing trainer from America came over to the UK to do a generic network marketing training, I don't believe it was since October 2015 when Eric Worre came over. They don't come over often. They do not come over often. So if they do, pay attention. Rob lives in the MLM capital of the world, Utah, right? It's where 40% of Utah's economic whatever is from network marketing. Is that right, Rob? It's a crazy amount of your.
I don't know the statistic, but it's insanely high when you look at all the billion-dollar companies and multi-$100-million companies that are around. It's just out. I mean, just off where I live, when you get off the highway there's 5 companies just right there, just there. So it's nuts. I have leaders come in town all the time. I just hang out with.
And guys, because of this, not only does Rob consult with companies, right? He's come up with their plans. He's helped merge. He's responsible for one of the biggest, if not the biggest, network marketing merger that's ever happened, which is not an easy task. But most important of all, in my opinion, he's probably the most well-connected network marketer on the planet from a generic point of view, because he's friends with literally every 7, 8, and 9 figure income earner in the planet. So the guy knows a thing or two. All right. So I hope you got some value from some of the stuff we shared. Remember to be real. Remember to be authentic. Go get the ticket for Rob's event. Tag in below for your chance to win those 3 courses. And this is only for you guys in this group. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We might do some more of these sort of stuff. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the event. And Rob, you'll have to record it so I can watch it back.
Appreciate you. And
I appreciate
I guess I'll just have to come back later in the year to come see you and come hang out. So we'll make some fun stuff happen. We'll do it. I love Europe. So I'll be there over and over and over and over again for selfish reasons, because I want to visit and I resonate with the people really, really well, because they just don't like the American hype. And that's great. That's why I do stuff in Australia. When I was in Australia, they said to me, I told you this, they're like, "You're not from America? What do you mean?" They said, "You must be from Canada, because you don't hype. You're real." I just started laughing. I don't get offended because that's my style. So appreciate you. I got to take off to the airport, but thank you so much for doing this, Frazer. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, whether you get the ticket or not. I hope you guys found value.
Yeah, guys, see you soon. Thanks, guys.